This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. It's time for Wyoming Sports Talk today on KRAE. Here are your hosts, Nick and Larry Proetti.
And welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk today, being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne, South Greeley Highway, downtown on KRAE Avenue, on Yellowstone Road, at the corner of Del Range and Ridge, at the corner of Persian and Ridge. Tuesday means Taco Tuesday. Yes, it is synonymous with Tuesdays. Taco Tuesdays always at all Taco John's of Cheyenne. Kia of Cheyenne, over on Nation Way, your home for a great lineup of 2020 Kia models, all the way from Soul to the Telluride. So again, test drive one of the good-looking Kias on the lot today that AJ has for you over at Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank over on Vandehigh and at the corner of College and Pershing. Again, maybe it is home remodel time, or maybe you want to refinance. How about an auto loan because you want to get a car from Kia of Cheyenne? See my good friends Rick and the crew today over at Platte Valley Bank. Again, two locations, Vandehigh and at the corner of College and Pershing. Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Del Range. You can always use them for your cater outs. They are there 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Enjoy breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And for lunch and dinner, remember, try their mac and cheese over at Chick-fil-A. Windmill, Del Range, right across from Powers Field and Menards, Medicat Pharmacy. For all your pharmaceutical needs or your doctor's prescription, shop indoors Monday through Saturday or use the convenient drive-thru. They are there Monday through Saturday next door to Texas Roadhouse. B&B Appliance and TV at 714 Central Avenue. Tomorrow kicks off the annual President's Day sale. What does that mean? Well, that means savings in your pockets with the GE, Maytag, Whirlpool, Frigidaire, and others that are on sale over at B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue, where they service what they sell. Lennox Auto Body over on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard, both part of Lennox Enterprises for over a quarter century, taking care of our automotive and, truck needs as well. First Tier Bank, 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday. See them first for the best CD rates around. That's at First Tier Bank. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D, the Greenway Commons. If you are looking for Paisan cuisine at its best, you're looking for a pizza that is ranked in the top 10 by the Food Network, folks, then you want to try Joe's Pie over at Mondello's Pizzeria. Now into their fifth decade of serving up delicious Paisan cuisine, East Coast style. Yeah, Joe's recipes coming from the East Coast and landing here in Cheyenne, and we are so lucky that he landed in Cheyenne as well. Check out Mondello's Pizzeria, open Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week, Sundays noon until 8 at 1507 Stillwater Avenue in the Suite D in the Greenway Commons, and we get things underway at scoreboard time. It's brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
Want to remind folks coming up at least tomorrow here on 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com, where you can hear this contest. Also do a video live streaming on Periscope via Twitter and the 1480KRAE YouTube channel. We will have more JUCO basketball action, men's and women's action coming up live at the rack. As for LCCC, Lady Golden Eagles and Golden Eagles, they will host Western Wyoming, the Lady Mustangs and Mustangs, and that being the national ranked Mustangs team on the mid side. They are number 12 in the nation after Monday's polls, but again, those games happening 5:30 and 7:30 at the rack. Women up first, men up second. About 5:10-ish pregame show here on 1480 KRAE. That is tomorrow here on KRAE. NHL action for tonight. Buffalo Sabres at home. They will host the Detroit Red Wings. How about the Toronto Maple Leafs at home? They will take on the Arizona Coyotes. Florida Panthers will travel to New Jersey to see the Devils. In the island, at least New York Islanders, they will host the Philadelphia Flyers. You can see that game tonight on NBC Sports Network. Pittsburgh Penguins at home. They will take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Minnesota Wild, they will be up north. They will host the Vegas Golden Knights. New York Rangers will travel all the way to Winnipeg to see the Jets at the American Airlines Arena in Dallas. The Dallas Stars will take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Colorado Avalanche down south in Denver. They will be at the Pepsi Center hosting the Ottawa Senators. Edmonton Oilers, they will take on the Chicago Blackhawks. And St. Louis Blues will travel all the way to Anaheim to the Honda Center to see the Anaheim Ducks. That's what's happening in NHL action for tonight.
On the NBA slate, hardwood action tonight in the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, PA. 76ers hosting the L.A. Clippers, it'll be the Bulls and the Wizards tonight in the Cap One Arena in D.C. Pelicans tonight in the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans. In the Crescent City, they have a date with the Portland Trailblazers. Spurs Thunder tonight in the Chesapeake Energy Arena, OKC. And in the Toyota Center, Houston, it will be the Rockets entertaining the Boston Celtics. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
I'm Nate.
And I'm Kate.
And we're not just literal taste buds.
For 2 p.m. Don't miss one of the last opportunities to catch the Cowboys in action at home this season. Get your tickets today at GoWIO.com or call 307-766-7220. We'll see you in the Arena Auditorium on Saturday, February 15th for the Border War.
What is Schwab's modern approach to investing? It's great service. It's transparency about how much you're paying in fees and commissions. It's offering some of the lowest costs in the industry backed by a satisfaction guarantee. If you're not satisfied for any reason, they'll refund the eligible fees and work with you to make things right. So ask yourself, are you getting low cost and award-winning service? If not, maybe it's time to call Schwab. Visit Sam at the Cheyenne Independent Branch or schwab.com/Cheyenne for more information. Charles Schwab and Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 33 and winds of the southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. For tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 15 and winds of the west at 15 to 20 miles per hour. On Wednesday, it'll be partly sunny with highs around 30, and on Wednesday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 8.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Nick Perlotti will bring on our first guest. He is a good friend of ours, longtime friend already. Pat Graham, Denver AP sports writer. As Nick mentioned when we were hooking up, Pat, we haven't had a chance to talk with him in a long time. So, Pat, I'm going to get right into a couple of things here, and then I'm going to close the books on it. Let's talk football real quick. Season is over. So I guess my question is for the Denver Broncos, is Drew Lock the quarterback of the future? Are the Broncos going to throw their stock on him, or does Joe Flacco come back and have another shot at going at that number one spot?
Well, I guess the bar has been set. The Broncos, if nothing else, know what they have to do. And, hey, first of all, thanks for having me on again. Nice talking to you guys. But the bar is set. You now know what you have to do. You have to win 11 to 12 wins to even be competitive with the Chiefs and probably get in the playoffs. So if you think Drew Lock is an 11-win, 12-win quarterback, then he's your guy. If you don't, then the search continues.
All right, so we get football season right now going on with the XFL, but it's going to continue on in April with the draft. The immediate needs for the Broncos, in your opinion?
Well, you can never have too many playmakers, as we've seen. Maybe a wide receiver, I would say, or what's his name? The all-purpose guy from Clemson, Isaiah Simmons. If he's there, I don't even know if he'll be there when they draft, but someone who you could play safety for you if you don't sign Justin Simmons, or you could play some linebacker if you need him at linebacker. Just something that's a game changer. I know that's easier said than done, and everybody wants a game changer, but something that can give you something that you don't have, like either speed, like a Tyreek Hill type. And I know those don't grow on trees. They're hard to find. Or a playmaker on defense who can play safety and linebacker and just be a hybrid and just be all over the field. Again, that's easier said than done.
Yeah, without a doubt for the Broncos. We'll see what happens coming up in April, which, again, we're a few months away from that, from the NFL draft, to see what John Elway and crew decides to go for the Broncos with, again, a top 15 pick, at least for the Denver Broncos. But as we focus right now, where Broncos kind of soured this season, we'll see what happens in 2020, 2021 for the Denver Broncos. But currently right now in the Mile High City, all focus has been on right now is the hardwood and the ice there at the Pepsi Center, where right now as we look at the current standings and you look on the Western Conference for both teams respectively, Denver Nuggets at number 2 right now in the Western Conference. Colorado Avalanche are just behind St. Louis for number 2 in the Western Conference. Talk about, at least let's start on the ice, Pat. Talk about this Colorado Avalanche team, how for real they are, and again, just what is the Avalanche showing on the ice right now in this season?
Well, more than anything is what you gotta like is they've shown grit. They've overcome injury after injury. They lose Migo Randon early in the season, and they don't miss a beat. They're missing Nazem Kadri for tonight, probably the next couple weeks, and who knows what that's going to unfold. But no matter who they miss or when they miss Gabe, they kept the ship afloat. They're resilient. It's impressive. Whatever injury is thrown their way, and there's been so many. It's just they bounce right back. And one of the things that I think is the reason for that is is goaltending. Philip Grubauer's been great, especially of late.
I'm glad that Nick brought that up too. It seems like both the Avs and the Nuggets went through their little tough period, as you mentioned. With the Avs being injured, and the Nuggets just had a little bit of bad fortunes. But it seemed like both at the same time they had a little bit of a struggle. Both now have seemed to work themselves through it, and both are playing at the top of their games.
And that's true. And somebody was asking me which was more impressive, and I would say, oh my goodness, I'd say that right now the Nuggets, because they're missing 3 starters for the longest time, and that's they're missing 60% of their starting lineup, and there they are. They're there at the top of the West. Nikola Jokic is playing out of his mind right now. He's playing his best basketball in this stretch right now. It's great to see him make another All-Star team. He's this guy is he keeps being overlooked, and people are like, 7-footer, what is this guy? And he's so good because I've talked to different coaches, and you ask them, what do you do? Do you take the pass? You take away a shot? And they're like, that's the thing with him is no matter what you do, he's going to do the opposite. And he's going to find a way to beat you.
Well, here's a question for you, Pat, as we still have a lot of regular season remaining for both the Avalanche and the Nuggets coming up. But as we look towards the playoffs and looking back to last year, both NBA and NHL, where NHL, the adage is anything can happen. We saw all those top seeds go down early on both the East and West Conference. And in the NBA, it's kind of pretty much those top 4 teams respectively move on or at least advance on eventually into the NBA Finals. But between the Nuggets and the Avalanche, as of right now, who has the better shot of winning the championship, albeit in June?
I think, as of right now, I'd give a slight lean to the Nuggets. I just think that they have a playmaker who you can Nikola Jokic has shown time and time again if the game is close in the last minute, he's going to find a way to get something done. He's clutch. The Avalanche. The only reason why I don't give the nod to them is because, as you guys know, you can run into a hot goaltender and it changes everything. You can run into you can run into a hot team, sure, but a hot goaltender can carry you through the postseason. And that's if you run into a hot goaltender in the second round and McKinnon can't score and Renton can't score and Landeskog can't score, what happens then? But conversely, Grubauer can get just as hot too.
Or either you run into a Sharks team where they had some interesting fortune with officials out there on the ice, again, seeing how they went through the playoffs, but that's neither here nor there. But again, at least with the Avalanche and the Denver Nuggets doing pretty well for themselves. But, again, looking at currently right now with the 2 pro sports underway down in Denver, has that fever hit Denver right now? Has fans pretty much bought into Avalanche and Nuggets, or is it still kind of that Broncos City down there even after kind of the rough year? What's kind of the fandom right now down at the Pepsi Center?
Well, no. I mean, it's basketball and hockey season, and people are definitely taking notice. It's nice. It's nice to see this kind of hockey and NBA fever kind of strike a chord. And it's funny because if the season were to end today, which of course it won't, but the Nuggets would be playing Dallas, which would be with Luka Doncic. That'd be kind of an interesting matchup. Of course, I don't think that the Nuggets will finish with the 2nd seed in the West again. I think that they'll probably go Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets. I think Nuggets will be 3rd or 4th. Maybe Rockets will get in there. I don't know. You'll definitely finish. They should finish top 4, unless barring disaster, barring a major injury. Like if Jokic gets hurt, that changes everything, of course. But they should be a top 4. I see them getting out of the first round. After that, it's just who knows? It's a roll of dice.
Pat Graham, Denver AP sports writer, join us. Pat, let's talk about the Nuggets' moves at the trade deadline. I mean, nothing of blockbuster notice, but again, a couple needs that were filled, I guess, to shore up.
Yeah, no. It's funny because you say that, and then what I think these moves did is, okay, what I like about it, first of all, I like Jordan McRae. I think he'll be a good addition. I like the trade with the Timberwolves. And what I kind of like what the Nuggets did is they kind of did Malik Beasley and Juancho Hernan going on a solid. They weren't getting the minutes they wanted. They're just too deep. And you could keep them on the bench and maybe they'd probably win a game or 2 here and there. But they send them to a place where they could get some growth, and Malik Beasley will be going to a contract year and actually have a chance to show something. I mean, I think that it was a win-win for both teams. The Nuggets got something in return, and Juancho and Malik ended up in a good situation. Well, not a good situation, but at least a chance to play.
Now I'm going to slide over to the ice now in the can, and again with the Avalanche, and I'm glad Nick was mentioning some of that as well too. You look at the Blues. I thought the Blues might slip a little bit, but they're still thrusting forward, and good for them. They're always a playoff bound team. Of course, they're the defending Stanley Cup champions. But I do believe the Avalanche are knocking on that door of getting back to that greatness here that we had when they first moved in from Winnipeg.
Well, yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think that you have bona fide stars and McKinnon and Landeskog and Rantanen, and then you have up and comers and Cale Makar, and you've had a great off season by picking up Kadri and Burakovsky and Samuel Girard's coming about. Bellemare's been a great pickup. Calvert's having a great year. Ian Cole's having a great year. Grubauer. All these guys are having career years. I mean, you would be amazed. There's like 7 guys having career years. I mean, it's just when you have that kind of success, of course, it's going to translate into the standings.
It's something I want to talk with you, Pat, as we keep with the Avalanche theme right now. Coming up this weekend down in Colorado Springs, a big-time game, something that the Avalanche and also to the LA Kings will be a part of, happening at the Air Force Academy, that being the Stadium Series happening out there this, at least Saturday, February 15th. Give your thoughts on this and Colorado Avalanche being a part of this, where they've already had another Stadium Series at Coors Field, but now having a chance to play down in the Air Force Academy.
No, it'll be fun. It's always fun. I don't know if you guys you've been down to Wyoming enough with Wyoming football and stuff like that. It's just a great setting, great environment. I love Southland Stadium and the environment down there, just being on the being in the Air Force Academy. They'll showcase well. It'll be a great game, and it always is. I like having it in a baseball stadium. I thought just the configuration of that stadium was cool. Southland Stadium, I've seen the layouts, and I just don't know how it's going to be with the stands and everything like that, and for viewing. But it's always cool on TV, and I love outdoor games. I can never get enough of them.
How about the matchup? We'll get your thoughts on that one with the LA Kings. A lot of folks on the Stadium Series kind of up in arms, or at least for a big-time game to showcase off. Again, Colorado Avalanche hockey. We think of rivalries for the Avalanche going back in the day. Granted, now this team now plays in the Eastern Conference, but those folks not too happy with seeing the Kings, who are right now down and out in the Western Conference, but wanted a team that's also too kind of down and out, but the old-time rival being Detroit Red Wings. Your thoughts on that matchup with the Kings and the Avalanche? Did you want a rivalry matchup with the Avs, or is this something that, it's just fun nature of just that stadium series being hosted in Colorado Springs?
Exactly. It's just the fun nature of it. It doesn't matter who they play. Well, that's not true. I mean, you could have made this work. It'd been funny. It'd been great if they could, because the Detroit was in town on January 20th. Why not wait a month? Wait 3 weeks and have them. That'd have been fun. That'd have been fun to have that crossover rivalry again. Kind of harking to the days gone by. The Kings, that'll be fun. I'm trying to think that there's not really a natural rival right now with the Avalanche, so it'd be hard to pick one. And Kings will draw. Good market. It'll be a great game.
Pat, going back and keeping on the Avalanche theme, and we've talked with their play-by-play guy in Loveland, one Kevin McGlue, as we're talking about the Avalanche AAA affiliate, the Colorado Eagles, and we've talked with Coach Bednar and even the Eagles head coach Greg Cronin. Your opinion, and again, we saw that with the Rockies. They tried to do it with Colorado Springs, make that their AAA affiliate, and send players up and down or rehabbing. But how important has been the Colorado Eagles as that feeder to the Avalanche when they were needed, right away?
Well, it's funny you should say that. I have a big story coming out on that next week, and I just got off the phone with Craig Billington today. We spoke at length about that, and it's just from everything you can think of, it's been a boon. I mean, you have, let's say, if someone got suddenly sick at 3:24 p.m. today, you could get someone down here for the game tonight. You can make moves that you just can't make anywhere else if you have your affiliate across the country or something like that. Or what happens if you have great you have access to Colorado Avalanche doctors. You have access to so much, and not only that, but it gives a chance for the coaches to get up there and see more action. I mean, Joe Sakic can get up there and see some of those prospects play a little more than he could if they were in San Antonio or Hershey.
All right, I'm glad that great minds think like you and me. We work well together.
It's like you were in my ear. It's like you heard my conversations today. I'm like, how does he know this?
Because I'm that damn good. Hey, real quick, I want to wrap it up here. Baseball, pitchers and catchers, my favorite time. But let's go, to Rockies training camp. Obviously, there are some attitudes that the Rockies didn't do much in the offseason. You look at, nobody's going to fire the Monforts, but, Jeff Bridich, is he on the hot seat? I mean, maybe last year you give him a pass on what happened, but there are some unhappy Rockies, and one of them plays third base. And I don't know, is Bridich the guy on the hot seat right now?
Well, yeah. I mean, you'd think he is, right? I mean, he's just, I don't know. You saw what he said today, and it's just kind of, it's like, come on, Jeff, you could end this, He doesn't want to comment anymore. He didn't want to comment at all today. I'm like, just come out and say, we're mending fences, blah, blah, and so forth. This is over. We're moving past this. Then, boom, it's done. But he didn't. So it's going to drag on, and I don't know what's going to happen. But you know what can cure this? A fast start. What can cure it even more? A fast start to the All-Star break, and even more, a nice run to a postseason berth, and then a long postseason berth, and then a run, and then everything's forgiven. It's water under the bridge.
Flip it to the other side, though, Pat. Could skipper Bud Black be on the hot seat?
I don't think so. Not yet. No. I mean, it's funny because I don't think one bad year can undo something that has never happened in Rockies history, and that makes back-to-back postseason appearances. I think that's too much goodwill, and it's not. I mean, they had a lot of things go wrong last year, and they're banking on a lot of things to go right this year. Brian Shaw returning to form in the bullpen, and Wade Davis and Jake McGee. Kyle Freeland returning to his form, and Herman Marquez, and then the big one is having Ubaldo Jimenez back.
Final thought from me for you, Pat, regarding the Rockies. Again, a name that he mentioned and has been in the big news as well of recent here in the offseason. But we'll look towards, post-trade deadline for here this 2020 season for the Colorado Rockies. In your opinion, your thoughts, Pat, will Nolan Arenado be in that purple and white stripe for the Rockies by trade deadline, or will he be moved on by that time?
No, I think he'll still be here. I honestly believe he'll still be here. I think this team is. I mean, I like the nucleus of this team. I really do. And I'm not a Hope Springs. Well, that's not true. I grew up in Kansas City. You know, the Royals were in town, and hope does spring eternal for baseball. And I guess I just carry that over. I think that this team is the seeds are there. It's just a matter of can you. I would like the team to make some more moves. Of course, everyone would. But I honestly think that they could. If Freeland finds something and Marquez finds something, I think they're going to be fine. I think they'll be in the thick of things come All-Star break.
I expect this team to be Blake Street Bombers 2.0. Pat, thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us, and we will catch up with you again real soon.
Always a pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
All right, Pat Graham, Denver AP Sports Writer, join us here at 1480 KRAE. We're going to have our next guest sit in the studio and chat with her. That is Dr. Cindy Henning, the Interim Athletic Director at Laramie County Community College. Coming up right after these words here on 1480 KRAE.
Every day we have the opportunity to lead by example. In delivering reliable, affordable, and responsible electricity to power what matters to you, we are taking bold steps to change how your energy is produced. With 50% of your electricity coming from renewable sources by 2024. Because as a cooperative, we are changing together. Whatever the future holds, we'll power it. Tri-State. Cooperative power transformed.
2020 legislation impacting Wyoming seniors will be discussed at the upcoming meeting of the ARP Cheyenne Community Group, 1 p.m. Wednesday, February 12th at the Foxcrest Senior Center, 4125 Cox Court. Tom Laycock, ARP Wyoming Director of Government Relations, will present a rundown of key legislation affecting seniors. This meeting is free and open to the public. That's Wednesday, February 12, 1 p.m., Foxcrest Senior Center, 4125 Cox Court.
Brandt Audiology and Sherrard Hearing Centers have teamed up and are now Brandt Audiology and Tinnitus. Hi, I'm Dr. Ruby Zubrod. Our new team allows us to work with Audibel and all national hearing aid brands. We now cover many communities in the southeast Wyoming and western Nebraska area. Call to schedule your appointment so our team can help you with any hearing health care need. Call 426-4327 or find us at brandtaudiology.com.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Did you know B&B Appliance and TV has a local warehouse where they stock a variety of appliances in a wide range of colors and finishes, including black and white? Their friendly staff realizes that one look isn't for everyone, and appliance shopping isn't always convenient. B&B Appliance offers free in-town delivery and disposal of your old appliances. They'll be there for you after the sale, too, because they always service what they sell. B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue. Best brands, hometown service.
All you good folks in Laramie and Goshen counties, listen up, please. Cheyenne Urological is now operating a satellite clinic in Torrington at 524 College Drive. Yes, top quality treatment for prostate cancer, urinary tract infections, kidney stones, impotence, and incontinence will now be provided by the highly trained staff of Cheyenne Urological in Torrington. So save yourself a trip and take advantage of the same wisdom, compassion, and expertise that served Cheyenne for over 30 years. Call Cheyenne Urological at 307-635-4131.
Hop into the KRAE Time Machine each Monday through Thursday for the golden age of radio, featuring famous radio classics such as Jack Armstrong and Suspense Theater, along with pioneers in the entertainment industry like Bob Hope and Abbott and Costello, along with many other performers who've captured our ears many, many years ago. Join us for the golden age of radio Monday through Thursday, 8 until 10 p.m. on 1480 KRAE, also 101.1 FM, and you can also stream all of our programming on 1480krae.com.
Cowboy fans, basketball season is in the home stretch, and the Cowboys will return to the AA for the Border War against Colorado State on Saturday, February 15th. Tip-off is scheduled for 2 p.m. Don't miss one of the last opportunities to catch the Cowboys in action at home this season. Get your tickets today at GoWIO.com or call 307-766-7220. We'll see you in the Arena Auditorium on Saturday, February 15th for the Border War.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming sports talk radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Sports Talk Today. It is our pleasure to talk with Interim Athletic Director Dr. Cindy Henning from LCCC. And we were just all talking off air, and here it is, mid-February, and this year has gone by in a whirlwind fashion for you, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. There's just been a lot going on and a lot catching up. And so, yeah, it's gone by really fast. It's hard to fathom that. It's almost basketball playoff time and everything. So, yeah.
Well, also, too, in your first year, you've had to now at least hire a new head coach, that being on the women's soccer side, that we've talked with Nate Olness. Again, looking forward to what he brings to the table for LCCC women's soccer, but also, too, something that we mentioned on broadcast afterwards on Saturday night. We also, too, have at least yet to mention here on Wyoming Sports Talk Today, but I did make the social media post. You now have to find a new sports information director with, at least now, with Jose Arenas now moving on, former assistant men's soccer head coach under Vince Gibson. He is now moving on to Denver University to be a part of their men's soccer program. So now you got to find a replacement for at least an assistant coach, but also to an SID now over there at LCCC currently.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me of that. Yeah. More work to do. Yeah. And we're gonna look at doing a couple things potentially with that position. And so that may really help with giving that more support to the athletic department. And once we have that finalized, then we'll definitely share out all those finer details.
You know, it's budget session with the legislature here this year, so obviously they're meeting for a few days. I don't know how much Doc Schaefer is going to be, a part of the legislative process over at the state capitol, but obviously with all of the junior colleges here in Wyoming, everybody not so much has their hand out, but looking to see if we can put a little more into the pot and projects that we want to get accomplished. What is Dr. Schaefer and you, as you sat down, I guess if the wish list is there and the legislature says okay and they grant it, what are we looking at for improvements out at LCCC and for the athletic department?
Really, the number one thing would be renovating our RAC building. It's a very lovely 40-year-old building, and like most things that are hitting the 40-year-olds, it's got a few creaks and cracks and things that need to be fixed and adjusted. And 40-year-olds get to wear glasses like you and I were talking about. And our building, it'd be nice to have some natural light somewhere in that building, and just those typical things that, it's an old building, and so it has some I would call them quirks. It has some quirks in the building.
That is the perfect word. I was about to say that where, again, at least they're live at the RAC where we've been there for a couple of years. It's an interesting gymnasium where we've had controversy after controversy where, again, we tried to host the Region 9 volleyball tournament, had to move over to Story because of a 1-inch difference on height out there. Also, too, again, the infamous recent moment, but it's been recently fixed, at least due to the athletic department, also to maintenance there at LCCC, where at least new backboards or at least scoreboards as well, too, purchased by a former at least AD there at LCCC, did not come with at least a light, which prompted at least a technical before each game due to at least what the officials had found out there. So again, it's been an interesting. It's a building without a doubt that needs renovation, that needs help without a doubt. It's something that it seems like when we've been in Dr. Schaefer's office and the word over there is that this is kind of priority number one right now to improve and kind of put athletics that much bigger and better on the campus out there at LCCC.
Yeah, of all the years I played basketball, I never got a technical foul. I became an administrator, and then we got an administrative technical foul for faulty equipment. Yeah, that just kind of made me chuckle. So yeah, it definitely is. It's a part of our strategic plan for the athletic department, and so it definitely is an area of need that everybody is, I think, aware of, and so it's just one of those things that we're going to continue to move forward, and Dr. Schaefer working with the legislature and our representatives and stuff, really getting that message out and continue to work for that.
You know, one of the things that with you being brought into the athletic director's office was stability into the building, and again, too, you can see it now with all of the coaches. There's a little more of, and I don't want to use the word relaxation, but you know, everybody now is going about their business and not worrying about what's going on behind them, if you get my meaning.
Yeah, I think that's true. When I first came in, part of it, like you said, was stability and getting everybody going in the same direction. And that's taken time, but part of it is building those relationships, making them better than what they were when I first came on board. And so I think we do have people moving in the right direction. And you know, just like with Jose leaving, nobody, you know, we were all sad to see him go. At the same time, we're happy for him for the step that he's taking. But there isn't anybody in our department that's, you know, really freaking out like, oh my God, we don't have our sports information director. What are we going to do? Because between multiple people in our department, we have those responsibilities covered. And so nobody's panicking over, you know, who's going to report the scores or who's going to do this or who's going to do that, because we have it worked out for who is doing what with those areas until we're able to get that replacement.
You know, it's that all replacement, cough over here. But either way, though, don't give me.
Let me go real quick here. And Nick and myself notice this when we're on the road.
Yeah.
And we'll notice banners up at the other gymnasiums, whether it's cross country, whether it's golf, you know, and
wrestling out in Western Wyoming.
Yeah,
too.
and if you're in the southern, you know, in Colorado, obviously they're getting into baseball and all that. But you know, as you've sat down and I know you're given X amount of dollars to work with, and again, you know, scholarship monies and what have you, but is there discussions or are you in the planning stages of possibly adding a golf or, you know, adding more sports to the roster at LCCC?
What we are doing right now, where our focus is really finalizing our athletic strategic plan. Part of that does include potential expansion of our athletic offerings. But when we do that, we want to do it strategically instead of, hey, we're going to add this sport, and then we go back and go, okay, where are we going to take the money from? You know, one of the examples, he was actually a finalist for our head women's soccer position. And when he was meeting with people, their college was adding sports, but the way they were doing that is they were going to each of the existing sports and saying, hey, we're going to add bowling. And to do that, we're going to take $5,000 from each of your programs. And that's not how I want to do that. And so that's a part of it is, yes, expansion, potential expansion is a part of our strategic plan, but we need to be very, I'm going to reuse the word, but very strategic about how do we do that? How do we build up to that point where we can add in additional sport or sports? What are those sports? What fits within, you know, the mission of our college and then within the region, so that we're not having to do, you know, sending teams to Texas to compete, that sort of stuff. And so just things like that have to be considered in that.
Speaking of adding new over there at LCCC, as you walk into the rack or at least enter into that at least athletic department, again, you'll see the flight crew, at least donor board as you walk in, but also to something that we want to promote out and we've done on at least LCCC broadcast. And here's your chance, at least, Dr. Henning, to at least give your thoughts and just the background on the decision behind this. But LCCC, the inaugural Athletic Hall of Fame, what was the decision behind that? And also to talk about what's kind of the goal for this, and also too for folks who are just tuning in for this, or at least this is the first time hearing about at least inaugural Athletic Hall of Fame. You know, what does it entail? How do they sign up? How do they nominate names out there as well too for LCCC?
So one of the things when I came on board, there are actually two things that I really thought that our department was missing. One was a fundraiser, some sort of some sort of athletic fundraiser. Every place I've been, including at the high school levels, we had fundraisers. And then the second part of it was recognizing through a Hall of Fame, which was the other thing that I thought we were missing. And so we actually put together two committees. One's a Hall of Fame committee. One's our fundraising committee is what we call it. And so we're making progress on both of those. The Hall of Fame is actually scheduled to go August 8th is our proposed date for our Hall of Fame banquet. In terms of nominating people, you can go onto the LCCC website, the athletics homepage, and there's one of our links there is for the Hall of Fame that takes you to the ballot. Includes athletes, coaches, contributors. Right now, we have had one nomination. Well, technically, you could say we've had three, but they've all been for the same person. And so we need other nominations. We have a history of sports and athletes that have done some really amazing things, athletic directors, coaches that have contributed. And so anybody that has knowledge really of LCCC athletics, we'd love to see nominations come in for any and all of those areas. And then our committee would get together and, go through our scoring system, for lack of a better word, and determine who will be in that inaugural class of inductees into the Golden Eagle Hall of Fame.
And correct me if I'm wrong as well, too, to kind of put a plug out, since we do have two remaining home contests, hopefully one more as well for Region 9, at least playoffs, but forms are also available as you walk in for a basketball contest on the table, correct?
Right, yep. We have them sitting there on the table trying to make it as easy for people as possible, and then when they fill them out, they can leave them there at the table where they pay, or they can leave them at the scorer's table. Really, whatever works for them. We've sent information out to our campus. We've had the Wyoming Tribune Eagle has carried it. So we're trying to get the word out to as many people as we can. All of the sports have put it out on social media and with a link and everything else. So yeah, anything we can do to help drive those initial Hall of Fame nominations, because it's a first time thing, and so. Once we get into that routine of it, I think then people will automatically get used to that because it'll become something that they do. Well, right now it hasn't been anything that anybody's done before. So
that's the hard part. Now let's go to the easy part. That's called fundraising. And the key word there is fun. And matter of fact, we got a very special event coming up, and we touched upon it yesterday. So and again, it's gonna happen right at the right time. It's spring break for Laramie County School District #1. I think it's spring break out at LCCC at that time too, coming up in late March. So let's talk about our fundraising activity.
We're actually really excited about it. It's our Blue and Gold Bash, and this year we're going with a casino night theme. And so we'll have gaming tables, and you'll get play money I've learned that it's called script, but everybody just call it play money. It works. And so you'll be able to go in, play the various games, collect tickets, and then at the end you'll be able to, I think we have like 7 big items that then you can put your tickets that you've won into winning those items. We'll have silent auction items. We have a ton of different things on the silent auction, and so we're really excited for it. The committee's been doing a tremendous amount of work behind the scenes. One of the things that we are doing is for anybody that has children between the ages of 5 and 14, 15, we actually are providing childcare in the RAC and multi-purpose room, so people don't have to worry about going out and finding a babysitter or anything like that. They'll be able to drop their kids up at the RAC, sign a liability and a contact form, and then the parents can go off to the casino night event, and then the children will stay there and be able to, play some games and do all kinds of things. We're going to have our student athletes and some of our Pete majors will be helping oversee that and planning all those activities. And so kids will be able to have some fun. Parents will be able to have some fun at the casino night. And we're just really excited to launch this.
one of the things I've seen, Nick, I think you'll agree with me too, now that school's been back in session as well, but we're starting to see that bridging of the gap, and again, we're talking a 5 to 8 mile gap from the city of Cheyenne out to Laramie County Community College. And again, a casino night is something that again brings more of the community out to support LCCC.
Yeah, exactly. And we just thought when the committee was meeting and talking about, what can we do and what's something different. And it was just one of the ideas that came up that we all kind of landed on. It's been a while since casino night has been done by any of the other organizations around town that do the fundraisers. And so we're really excited. And we have tickets that are for sale. They're $30 per person or $50 for 2 tickets. And so we're just really excited about it and think it's going to be another way to get people, like you said, out from the community to come out to our campus. We're going to hold it in the Pathfinder building, which is right across the parking lot from the RAC. And so we're really excited about it, and ticket sales have been going pretty good. We have a limited number of tickets, and we're more than halfway through those tickets.
More information on that casino night, it's at 6 o'clock. It will be happening Saturday, March 28th, as you mentioned. Again, Clay Pathfinder building, $30 per person, $50 per couple. Again, tickets, or at least more information, go to lccc.wy.edu/blue and gold bash. That's how you find more information. Or if you're kind of the old school way, you call 307-778-1314. Again, as Dr. Henning just mentioned, again, a silent auction saw earlier, at least a nice little bookstore grab bag was announced earlier today. Again, some goodies to come away with that silent auction, heavy hors d'oeuvres, and also do that cash bar. So again, this all benefiting LCCC Golden Eagle Athletic Scholarships and student athletes. So again, a great cause happening Saturday, March 28th. Mark it in your calendar, 6 o'clock there on the campus of LCCC.
All righty, well, Dr. Henning, we want to thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Last minute, as always, as we got a hold of you. And again, congratulations to this point. I know we still have more basketball left, but like we said before we got on the air, it has sure flown by. I mean, here we are. We're in almost mid-February, and then we got March Madness. And then, I guess really as I wrap it up, after March Madness, what does the athletic department do until the end of the school year?
Finalize fall schedules, buy uniforms, replace equipment, work with their athletes, work with their sophomores getting on to the next level that they want to go to, finish recruiting, start recruiting for the following year. We got all kinds of stuff.
So if anybody is interested in being an athletic director, just heed that message. It doesn't end right after March Madness. Dr. Henning, thank you so much. We appreciate you always coming in here and chatting with us. We're going to take a time out. We'll be back with more Wyoming Sports Talk today after this.
Hi, I'm Tristan Johnson, mortgage lender at Platte Valley Bank. A home is more than where you live. It's where you make a life. At Platte Valley Bank, we have tailored home loan products paired with great rates and friendly people so you can focus on making memories, not paperwork. I will work with you every step of the way to find the mortgage product that is right for you. Stop by Platte Valley Bank at 3310 North College Drive in Cheyenne or visit www.pvbank.com to get started today.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
When you are dealing with the coin shop to buy, sell, or trade your gold, silver, or other precious metals, you will be met with honesty, fairness, knowledge, and exceptional customer service. The Coin Shop has been serving Cheyenne since 1982 and is a respected member of our community. Call David today at 778-7196 to meet privately or visit during regular business hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. The Coin Shop, a dealer you can trust, 510 West 16th Street.
What is Schwab's modern approach to investing? It's great service. It's transparency about how much you're paying in fees and commissions. It's offering some of the lowest costs in the industry backed by a satisfaction guarantee. If you're not satisfied for any reason, they'll refund the eligible fees and work with you to make things right. So ask yourself, are you getting low cost and award-winning service? If not, maybe it's time to call Schwab. Visit Sam at the Cheyenne Independent Branch or schwab.com/Cheyenne for more information. Charles Schwab & Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
Every day we have the opportunity to lead by example. In delivering reliable, affordable, and responsible electricity to power what matters to you, we are taking bold steps to change how your energy is produced. With 50% of your electricity coming from renewable sources by 2024. Because as a cooperative, we are changing together. Whatever the future holds, we'll power it. Tri-State, cooperative power, transformed.
2020 legislation impacting Wyoming seniors will be discussed at the upcoming meeting of the ARP Cheyenne Community Group, 1 p.m. Wednesday, February 12th at the Foxcrest Senior Center, 4125 Cox Court. Tom Laycock, ARP Wyoming Director of Government Relations, will present a rundown of key legislation affecting seniors. This meeting is free and open to the public. That's Wednesday, February 12, 1 p.m., Foxcrest Senior Center, 4125 Cox Court.
Brandt Audiology and Sherrard Hearing Centers have teamed up and are now Brandt Audiology and Tinnitus. Hi, I'm Dr. Ruby Zubrod. Our new team allows us to work with Audibel and all national hearing aid brands. We now cover many communities in the southeast Wyoming and western Nebraska area. Call to schedule your appointment so our team can help you with any hearing health care need. Call 426-4327 or find us at brandtaudiology.com.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 33 and winds of the southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. For tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 15 and winds of the west at 15 to 20 miles per hour. On Wednesday, it'll be partly sunny with highs around 30, and on Wednesday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 8.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Once again, this hour, thank you to Pat Graham, most recently Dr. Cindy Henning. The XFL kicked off this weekend, Nick, and already the XFL has news. The news is the Wildcats, the XFL's Los Angeles Wildcats, they made a series of unusual moves today, 2 days after losing their first game in the inaugural season. They fired defensive coordinator Pepper Johnson in a decision that head coach Winston Moss called difficult. And meanwhile, linebacker and team captain Anthony Johnson tweeted he is now a free agent. Controversy already in the Extreme Football League.
It's not the Extreme Football League anymore. It's just the XFL.
It's XFL 2.0.
Yeah, either way, though, again, you already soured on it as, again,
I'm not sour on it, Nick.
You've given up on it, like, again, it seems like everyone, or at least I would say everyone, again, you got that 50-50 where it's cross the line moment right now with the XFL of either you love it or you hate it. Either it's going to die or it's going to continue on. Right now, again, in my opinion of what we saw, it was good football. Again, what happened on there, it was entertaining games. Kickoffs looked a lot better than what you got in the NFL, and you wonder if the NFL is eventually going to adopt that system, the extra point system of the 1, 2, 3 that we've known about, seeing that in at least being executed. Again, it worked out there. Fans showed up. So far on the numbers, we've heard that compared to the AAF that it folded midway through last year's season, so far the XFL has had more ticket sales, or at least has generated more revenue in the first week than the AAF did, but obviously that's going to become with kind of name recognition, the XFL. Also, too, it's the hot new thing in some of these communities. So, again, it was probably a great opening, at least start for the XFL. You had everything from F-bombs being at least laid out on national TV with the sideline reporters. The cool thing, I love what the XFL is doing right now is, and you wonder if the NFL will eventually adopt this, is the transparency on, at least when you go up to the booth, between at least between the refs and also to the at least the again the head official up there again deciding of, oh, okay, as they're talking it through of, well, his helmet didn't cross, or again helmet wasn't too clear to at least cause a personal foul. Again, that was kind of interesting of getting that insider info where instead of here it is, you have the talking heads just going on for about a couple minutes where you're just wondering of what's taking long.
Right.
Instead it's here it is. This is what they're discussing. This is what that person has seen and relaying down to the field.
Well, and again, let's put it into realistic terms. All 4 of the NFL, the XFL games, again, the 8 teams that played, the announced attendance right in between 17,000, 18,000 for the game.
Are we anticipating that it's going to be a sellout when they go to Seattle there at CenturyLink Field? No.
No.
You're going to have probably the lower bowl get full, and that's about it.
Well, and they had about 2.9 million viewers, so that's not bad.
Not bad.
And again,
between at least between ABC and Fox.
And you're coming, a week after the Super Bowl. And again, it was kind of put your foot in the water. Let's see what's going on with the XFL. Again, I'm not dissing on the XFL. I just don't think spring football is ever going to take shape, Nick. They may bring in some innovative ideas that the NFL may adopt. I agree with you. But again, I look back, and I was going to mention this to Pat. We didn't get a chance to. The last team I remember that was successful was in the old World Football League, and that's when the Denver Gold had a team down at Old Mile High Stadium where they were drawing 35,000, 40,000 fans, and that to me was a success for spring football.
Where you're going to see
head coach back then.
Where you're going to see that, and I do believe next week they'll be at least out there in Missouri, and that being in St. Louis with the Battlehawks. I would anticipate that that's where you're going to see that big time crowd, that successful kind of franchise. That being with St. Louis, the Battlehawks, where again it's a city that got abandoned by the Rams, now in Los Angeles, that are hurt by the NFL. Have now again you see how that city, that area has rallied around this Battlehawks team. Where hey, it's football once again being played in that dome downtown St. Louis. They got that opportunity to watch football once again. So that's where you anticipate. That is going to be the franchise, the team. That's where they're going to get probably a majority of the fan support is there. But, again, fans in D.C. at least showed up for the D.C. Defenders there at that, at least soccer stadium. Again, people were kind of kidding around of, hey, it's a better crowd than what we've seen in recent, and it's better facilities than what the Redskins have currently right now in the NFL.
Well, tickets on the secondary market weren't cheap either. They were $130.
You can buy them the cheapest, I think, for kind of the end zones, or at least kind of the not so, better kind of viewing areas of these contests are like $24.
Right.
Not that bad.
No, not
that bad for
but
football.
Again, where I was kind of down on it.
Yes, again, where you get the 50-yard line, they're not NFL prices, but they're getting pretty expensive.
But everywhere I'm reading here, high marks for the XFL in the first week, anywhere between 17,000, 18,000. So you're looking at attendance near 72,000 for the 4 teams for the 4 home dates that were played on Sunday.
I think maybe for the XFL,
maybe the XFL has done their homework. They've shored up what they did wrong the first time. And again,
I think
there's a lot of disgruntled people from the us, you, me, fans. There's a lot of disgruntled folks that they're sick and tired of the Roger Goodells of the world. They're sick and tired of how the officials are doing things. Blah blah blah. You can run through a myriad of NFL problems. If the XFL can address A, B, C, D, E without stressing it,
I think they already have early on so far of hyping up this league where, again, they've taken their time. It's kind of like with here on the local side with the Expedition League where they spent time, they researched,
right.
they realized, hey, we need to do this before it becomes successful. Let's work at it and kind of have a plan for years on down the line of, hey, this might not be profitable, but let's make sure that we put on a good product so when it does take off here in year 2, year 3, year 4, potentially for the XFL, they have it all in plan. But I think for first week XFL football, it wasn't as rough as it was first week XFL back in 2000. This was, again, they learned from their mistakes. They basically said, hey, this is what everyone's hating on the NFL for. Let's change it. Let's make it better. And again, it was a faster-paced game. Again, the clock, at least dwindling that down to about 25 seconds, I think, is how long you have at least to get the playoff.
The snap of the ball.
Again, it made it a lot faster. It was a lot innovative, and it was very watchable. It was good. It was decent football.
And again, too, like I said,
the only tough thing is right now where you have a lot of these markets, whether it is down in Denver, San Francisco, again, just any city that has NFL football that does not have the XFL teams. It's kind of that difficulty of how do you sell, or do you adopt a team?
How do I hop on board?
Yeah, do I adopt a team right now, or do I just wait and just kind of watch with the rest of the league? It is that kind of difficulty. It does make sense, though, of what they did with some of these teams, again, going after Dallas, going after Houston, L.A., New York, some of the larger markets that have plenty of people out there to adopt and be on, at least with that. Same with St. Louis, where there is no NFL competing team. This is now their only football.
Right. And again, like I said, it's spring football is always a struggle. So we'll keep our eye on the XFL during the next few weeks.
Will it last longer than the AAF? Yeah, without a doubt.
Will it make it through the season? Absolutely. Yeah. I think it will. All right, we do need to move into our next hour, or we're already into our next hour, and we are going to have another special guest join us on the phone. We'll talk with him here in just a few moments on 1480 KRAE.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
It's time for Wyoming Sports Talk today on KRAE. Here are your hosts, Nick and Larry Proetti.
It is hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk today, being brought to you by Mondello's Pizzeria at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D, the Greenway Commons, open 7 days a week, Sundays noon until 8. First Tier Bank is right across the street, open Monday through Friday. We have Lennox Auto Body over on Dunn Avenue. We have the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard, both part of Lennox Enterprises. B&B Appliance and TV at 714 Central Avenue. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs, open Monday through Saturday next door to Texas Roadhouse. Chick-fil-A, Windmill, and Delrange, directly across from Powers Field and Menards. Platte Valley Bank, ×2. The east side location at the corner of College and Pershing, and the original location on Vandehigh. Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way, and Taco John's of Cheyenne, where I must say it is Taco Tuesday today. And we get things underway. It's scoreboard time. It's brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. We go first to Nick.
Want to remind folks coming up tomorrow here on 1480 KRAE 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com is where you can hear the contest, but also do video live streaming on Periscope via Twitter and the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel. We will have JUCO basketball with LCCC men's and women's in action, 5:30 and 7:30. Women up first, men up second. As LCCC live at the RAC will host Western Wyoming, the Lady Mustangs, and the Mustangs, and notable of those Mustangs team, at least coming in on the men's side, they are number 12 in the nation as of the polls that came out on Monday. So again, 5:30 and 7:30. Tune in for those contests. 5:10-ish pregame show here on 1480 KRAE. That coming up tomorrow, LCCC men's and women's basketball. NHL action for tonight, Buffalo Sabres at home. They will host the Detroit Red Wings. You also, too, will see the Arizona Coyotes in Toronto to see the Maple Leafs. New Jersey Devils at home. They will host the Florida Panthers. The Philadelphia Flyers will travel to New York to see the Islanders. That game can be seen on NBC Sports Network tonight. Pittsburgh Penguins at home at PPG Paints Arena. They will host the Tampa Bay Lightning. Vegas Golden Knights travel all the way north to Minnesota to see the Wild. Winnipeg Jets across in Canada. They will take on the New York Rangers. Carolina Hurricanes will be in Dallas at American Airlines Arena, at least seeing the Dallas Stars. Colorado Avalanche down the road in Pepsi Center in Denver, Colorado. They will take on the Ottawa Senators. Chicago Blackhawks will travel to Edmonton to see the Oilers. And last but not least, in Honda Center in Anaheim, California, the Anaheim Ducks will host the St. Louis Blues. That's what's happening in NHL action for tonight.
And we move on now as we check out what's going on the NBA side. Games on tap for this evening featuring these teams. The 76ers in the Wells Fargo Arena in Philly. They will host the Clippers. It will be the Bulls and the Wizards of the Cap One Arena. Trailblazers and the New Orleans Pelicans in the Smoothie King Center. Spurs and the Thunder tonight in the Chesapeake Energy Arena in OKC. And it will be the Rockets in the Toyota Center. They entertain the Boston Celtics. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
At Mountain Dew, we say here's to the doers. The people who know you gotta do what you gotta do.
Who do it big.
Yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures, makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Don Morris at 307-637-0301.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials.
Our Super Radio buys heard only right here feature Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey, 1.75-liter bottle, $22.99. Tito's Handmade Vodka, 750-milliliter bottle, $15.99. And Guinness Draught Stout, 8-pack of 14.9-ounce cans, $12.99.
Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader.
Winter driving in Wyoming. Are you prepared? Winter storms strike quickly across Wyoming's high plains and the mountains. When they do, driving conditions can deteriorate rapidly and become very challenging. Make sure your vehicle is ready for the elements and you have an emergency preparedness kit available. Driving on slick roads, always remember slower speed, acceleration, steering, and braking. Also turn off the cruise control and always buckle up. Ice and snow. Take it slow. Know before you go. For travel info, call 511 or online at wyoroad.info. Paid for by Federal Highway Safety Funds.
First Tier Bank strives to remain competitive and offers some of the best CD rates in the community, as well as area banks and credit unions per Rate Watch reports. How does that make a difference to you? First Tier Bank can assist you in securing some of the best rates on CDs. First Tier Bank offers the personalized customer service you've grown accustomed to and deserve. Plus, feel confident that your finances are taken care of by a responsible, knowledgeable staff. Call 307-632-3500 and ask for Caitlin or Debbie. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 33 and winds of the southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. For tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 15 and winds of the west at 15 to 20 miles per hour. On Wednesday, it'll be partly sunny with highs around 30, and on Wednesday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 8.
Here, the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today, hour number 2, Larry Perotti, along with Nick Perotti. And we bring on our next guest as we go I-80 to the west. I mean, we go to the other corner of the state, and we get a chance to talk with Jake Hibbard, who is the host of the Wyoming Preps podcast and sports director of KNYN, 99.1 FM in Evanston, home of the Red Devils and the Lady Red Devils. Jake, thanks for joining us today. Do appreciate it.
Hey, thank you. I-80 is looking clear on this side, so I can't complain.
That's rare for this time of year, that's for sure.
I was going to say, thankfully for us, we don't have to travel I-80. We already made our road trip out to Rock Springs for western Wyoming, so we'll stick on the east side of the state for now.
No, we get to go 25, and then we get to go through Bill and Wright all the way to Gillette this weekend. We're excited. Hey, Jake, real quick, For those of us that don't know what's going on, tell us a little bit about your Wyoming Preps podcast. I'm curious about it.
Well, it started about 3 years ago, and it was just me. This was back when I was still covering the Evanston Red Devils. You know how it travels. You travel all around the state, and I get there just as you guys do, doing a video stream way too early, basically. And I've got a lot of time to sit around while everything's happening. Well, I decided at that point to start just talking to people wherever I was at, whether it was a coach, a player, a radio guy, newspaper guy in town, just about what was going on, because I love doing the high school sports, and WyoPreps.com, they do an awesome job for the stats and everything. I was just wanting to get some stories basically inside, whether that was a weekly update of where we were at in the rankings, or, you know, talking to an athlete about where they're headed or anything like that. So basically over the last 3 years, it's morphed into now I've convinced my radio manager to put it on the radio. So it's the Wyoming Prep Podcast on the radio, also in podcast form. And basically I just look around. I look all around the state. I was talking to Nick a few weeks ago when there was that Cheyenne game going on. I was checking in. I live in Rock Springs, and we had a really cool moment with Braxton Patterson. That was last week. The Rock Springs 4-year manager was born with a rare bone disease, getting in, being able to score get to score the opening bucket. And so at this point, I cover Mountain View Lyman. But as you guys probably know, it's a lot easier to cover the teams on a radio show that you don't cover, because then the coaches don't get mad at you and say, oh, I don't know if they're going to win this week.
Interesting way to put it. Yeah, sure. Works for me. Nick, go ahead.
I mean, we talked to all 6 of them out here for Cheyenne South. It's East and Central, but either way, though, again, we
make it 8 of them now, too.
Yeah, that's true, too, with LCCC. But either way, though, again, we appreciate you joining us where, again, with your knowledge, again, at least with the Wyoming Preps podcast, wanted to bring you on as we are in the thick right now as we start looking towards at least postseason time here in the state of Wyoming, whether it is in Class 4A all on down for at least high school basketball on both the boys and girls side. You know, Jake, as we talk, and we'll start at Class 4A, and we'll start here in the Cap City with our at least 6 teams, and we'll start on the girls side, however, with East and Central right now. But, you know, as we talked to, at least I talked with you a couple weeks ago where, you know, we were looking at Central East. It's kind of pick your poison on who could be at least hoisting the state at least title, at least come here in the month of March. But is it still that feeling right now that on the girls' side, the state title is pretty much between those 2 teams here in the Cap City?
You know, I got to be honest. I have not. This is 2 weeks in a row. I have not voted a team from Cheyenne in the number 1 spot, and you know what? I don't know if I entirely agree with my assessment. I have to stand behind it, but I'm putting Thunder Basin number 1 right now, and I go back and I look at their schedule. They've beaten all the conference opponents in front of them. We'll see this week. This week will be an interesting one, and that'll be very telling. They are the defending state champs. So basically when East got upset by Central, I pulled East out of the number 1 spot, and I wasn't quite comfortable putting Central number 1 yet. So then that jumped Thunder Basin back up to number 1 for me, but I've got Central number 2 this week, East number 3, and look, East is a strong number 3 team, and you could really give them you could really go a lot of ways with that. I mean, even looking at this game, Central certainly got great defense, but do we believe that Kai Buell time 2 out, time 3, maybe time 4, if they do meet in the state championship, this being Central and East? Do we believe that she's going to not hit double digits until the 4th quarter, again, offensively, averaging 21.5? I've been following Kai since she was in Rock Springs as a freshman. She's as pure of a scorer in Wyoming that we've had in girls basketball in recent memory. So to answer your question, no, I don't have it as one of those 2. I've got it as one of the 3 right now, Thunder Basin, Central, and East. And Central, by beating East, certainly vaulted themselves into the conversation, which I had them as a slight tier below East and Thunder Basin prior to that matchup.
Jake, well, how much does it weigh in for them all meeting this weekend? And again, they'll be both in Gillette.
Oh, it's huge. But you just said it. They'll both be in Gillette. And how tough is it to play in Gillette year in and year out? I think it was probably a little tougher maybe when we go back when it was just Campbell County, because you had that entire town of whatever you want to call the population, 20,000 plus. all raining down on you. Now it's split, and that was one of my first episodes I ever did 3 years ago, was Gillette divided, and how does it change that town? Well, it's certainly taken away a little bit of that intimidation factor from one school, maybe, but Thunder Basin certainly picked up the torch and run. I think it's huge. I love this setup of Gillette versus Cheyenne East versus Cheyenne Central, and that being, I'm looking more on the Thunder Basin side, but Campbell County, don't count them out to try to pull up an upset along the way sometimes either. But don't read too much into it, as I think, because these games in a month, in 3 weeks, whatever it is from now that we have until state, they'll be played in Casper on neutral ground. And if Campbell County or Thunder Basin comes away with a win by 4 to 10 points, really, you got to add a couple buckets considering the home court advantage that they will have.
Or at least, fingers crossed, will be neutral site where infamously, as we talked yesterday here on Wyoming Sports Talk today, going back to last year, at least on the boys' side, due to the fact of the Region 9 tournament happening up there at the Swede, where it had at least that game pushed over to Kelly Walsh, where Kelly Walsh on the boys' side got the infamous upset over Cheyenne East, which again led them to at least get that state title on that side. But again, fingers crossed we get the neutral side for both girls and boys coming up in Casper time. But we look at the east side of Class 4A on, again, both boys and girls, but specifically on the girls' side, again, it's pretty top-heavy with the two Cheyenne schools, again, East and Central, Thunder Basin, can't count out Campbell County. I'll even toss in there Natrona County Lady Phillies that have been kind of competitive here throughout the season, but is the winner...
Is the winner coming out of the East?
Yeah, without a doubt. Where we look at the West, especially Northwest and Southwest, at top is Green River, 12-4, 3-0 in their quadrant play. Riverton right now is 12-5. They are 2-1 in their quadrant play.
And Jake, let me add too. It's nice to see that the Lady Wolves are starting to get their house in order, as well as the Lady Wolverines. I mean, these are two programs for many years that were at the bottom.
Oh yeah, and I'll tell you what. You mentioned the East versus the West, and I'll say I have put the burden of proof, if I just briefly jump over to the boys' side and then go back to the girls, I put the burden of the proof on the West half for the rest of the year because I'm voting 5 teams in the East for the boys until I see otherwise right now. On the girls' side, you mentioned Green River. They're the real deal as far as defensive pressure goes, and Ashlyn Birch in the post, she's a girl who's been playing heavy minutes for Rick Carroll in Green River for 4 years now. She's been a starter for at least 2.5, maybe 3 of those years. But this year she's come back with a low post game, and that still plays in girls basketball at the high school level. I know that even in high school boys basketball, to some degree, the post is, unless you really have a strong post, like I can think of one in Cheyenne right now, post play's kind of a dinosaur. But in girls basketball, post moves play big, and Ashlyn at 5'11" is a very, very good post player. She's always had good defensive instincts, rebounding, and I think rebounding is as much height as it is instinct. She's always had a good nose for the ball. And then Madeline Heiser, she is a person who, maybe doesn't light it up on the scoreboard, but she is an incredible defender. And that's really, when I look at this Green River Wolves, Lady Wolves offense, it all starts at the defense. They're averaging almost 20 turnovers forced per game, and Ashlyn getting 14 points and 9 rebounds in the game. And then Maddie, like I'm looking it up right now, she gets about 11 points, shoots about 27% from 3, but she's a player who can get hot at any point, and at no point can you worry, can you really do anything as far as just getting the ball across easy, because they love to trap, and Maddie is at the top of all of that.
Let's talk about, and we'll flip it over to the boys' side, and again, keep it for, and then we'll get into the lower classes as well. And again, we know the grouping out here, like you mentioned, on the guys' side. You're gonna keep it here in the East until somebody otherwise shows you, over in the Northwest or the Southwest. Right now, I guess your top cat would be Kelly Walsh, but are the Star Valley Braves kind of that team that is the one you got to keep your eye out for? I mean, year in, year out, they're ones that are at the dance.
Yeah, maybe. You mentioned Kelly Walsh. Kelly Walsh, I was at the game when they played Rock Springs and got 26 points in a varsity contest in an entire game. And at that point, that's when they dropped out of my top 5. But I will say this because I've been fooled before. You can never count out a Randy Roden coach team. because at some point they will turn it on, and I think that's the top team. You mentioned Star Valley. Yes and no, I would say. I would actually look at Evanston and Star Valley as equal. If you're looking at a team that maybe can make a surprise, Star Valley, led by Taylor Horsley, he can be great for a half and then he can disappear. Dean Shaw is kind of that next guy that if he's not going to be getting it in, Dean can really light it up. He's not necessarily putting in, the stats won't show it, and he missed some time with a foot issue. But if Taylor's missing it, then they're going to look to Dean Shaw to get some shots in. I just think Star Valley, they look good in the tournament. You mentioned last year. They pulled through and they got into the, I think they came in out of the number 3 seed in that tournament. Or maybe, no, they came out of number 2. They matched up against Star Valley. And, yes, they can get that far, but I think there's a big cap on them. As far as when you look at them versus the East teams, I don't know how well they match up. Now, I mentioned Evanston. Just a year ago, they defeated a Central team. Now, Central has definitely made giant steps from a year ago, but if you look at the West side, Kelly Walsh and Evanston are the only teams from the East from the West that I can think of in the last 3 years that have won a Day 3 game at state. And Evanston's won all 3 of those. Now, those were consolation, third-place consolation. We're not talking state title here. But Evanston and Kelly Walsh, if you look at recent program history, are the only ones who have followed through to get a Day 3 win.
Well, and again, don't sell short the Western Conference, or at least where, again, we go back infamously last year, and same could be possible, at least coming up in March here, at least in Class 4A, where, again, who expected Kelly Walsh on the boys' side to take care of business and be your state champion when, again, you had East, especially with led by one Eric Oliver, now at LCCC. Again, Central that had, again, the same familiar faces that you're seeing right now for this squad under Coach Tag Lane. But, again, is it something that could it be said that the West, as much as they're beating up each other, that it's a situation that teams on the East are going to overlook the West when it comes to state tournament time and possibly get those potential upsets against them?
Well, that's a good way to frame it. Will the East overlook the West? And I think the answer to that is probably yes. Now, if you've got a coach like Tag Lane who's a veteran, he's going to come up with something some way or another that's he'll find an edge. And that's what you have to do against some of these teams from the West, because overlooking them, you're talking about 15 to 17, 18-year-old kids, yeah, you're going to overlook them. How could you not? And is the West really beating up on each other? I don't know that I'd put it that way, because when I was looking back to when Evanston, I think, started, I mentioned them, so I think they started 0-10, 0-11. Going back to the beginning of the year, after I saw the first 2 weeks of play in the 4A West, I predicted that Evanston would go at least 2-1, 3-0. That Star Valley would be, I thought they would be the 1, and then Evanston the 2, but it's flip-flopped, so Evanston's 1, Star Valley's 2. That Kelly Walsh would kind of be the cream of that Western crop, but not because that the ship would necessarily right itself, but because the West is just having a particularly down year. So there's a couple of teams I could see. Because of Coach Roden, I could see Kelly Walsh, because at this point, every year his team seems to make a giant step forward, and you don't recognize them at regionals at state from halfway into the conference season, and that's just a nod to one of the greatest coaches in high school basketball in Wyoming. Evanston's got some talent, but I think they're going to be hard-pressed because I don't know that they have experience necessarily carrying over. And then you mentioned Star Valley. I think that they rely a lot on slowing teams down with that zone defense, but they don't have necessarily the quick-fire ability to get back in a game against, if they're a number 2 seed even, what do you say? They'll probably play Sheridan. If they're a number 3 seed, they're playing Central or East, and some iteration of that. I don't know that they have the firepower or the matchups to necessarily meet up with that. Now, going back to the beginning of the year, I said I thought Kelly Walsh would be a Final Four team. I've amended that since, and I'm not so sure. It depends on who the number 4 team from the East is. Say if that's Thunder Basin. Hey, say if it's Campbell County. We can never count out what could happen in an Eastern Regional tournament. I am actually hard-pressed to find a Western team that can pull off an upset. You mentioned a year ago, though, and I'm careful to play devil's advocate this too. We were convinced that Sheridan would be the team in the championship, and you mentioned who saw Kelly Walsh be in the state champion a year ago? Well, pretty much none of us, but once Campbell County and Luke Ladke in particular pulled off that upset, I think we all had whoever won that game against East or Kelly Walsh being the state champion.
We're talking with Jake Hibbard, host of the Wyoming Prep podcast and sports director of KNYN 99.1 FM in Evanston. Jake, and I'm glad you mentioned the Red Devils. And I got here in '86, and anytime we've had a state tournament, you always look up there in the final 8 teams, and you always can bank on a Red Devils team being up there at the state tournament. Talk about a group of overachievers, I should say. They've never had the 6'10" guys or whatever. They've been beating you with 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" guys. I think of the Bubba O'Neill teams. 13 and 2012, and I know they had a championship in 2004. So tradition a little bit on the side of the Red Devils, just like Cheyenne Central. Cheyenne Central has that tradition for basketball that Tag Lane is trying to reinvent over at the Indians' home place there at the field house. So again, I like what you're saying about the Red Devils. I'm not shocked at their 5-11 record. I'm looking at where they're at now, 3-0, and to me, they seem to be the dangerous team.
They could be. They also, at about halfway through that losing streak, they lost one of their main contributors, Braxton Lind. He was out for we don't need to go into any reasons about that, but he was out for a time, and he's come back in the last couple of games. He's a junior, about 6'4", 6'5", somewhere in that neighborhood. Plays more of a wing position than he does anywhere in the post, but he adds a lot of scoring ability, which is something Evanston really lacked at the beginning of the year. They've got a couple of seniors in Dawson Crofts and Mason Ellingford who have played the last year, at least 1 year prior varsity experience, and then after that it gets pretty narrow. So that's where I can have the concern about experience with that team. But they have definitely looked better. Now, I really, really, really caution anyone looking at where they're at right now. I really caution you, look at who they have played to look at who they did play. And yes, they've improved, and yes, there's something to be said for confidence, but that 5-game winning streak wouldn't have happened outside of the Western Conference that we have this year. But I saw them play against Rock Springs not yesterday, it was Saturday. Man, these days go by fast. I got back in time for my own game to see them play against Rock Springs. Rock Springs had just upset Kelly Walsh, and Evanston, quite frankly, picked apart and manhandled Rock Springs. But that's the story of the West this year.
Hey, well, I want to, at least final question for me on Class 4A, especially on the boys' side, and this is something for you, Jake, to kind of give your thoughts and opinions on it, but something that I've talked with Chris Bolton throughout this season of what we've seen with Cheyenne Central basketball on the boys' side, this Indians team, of how dominant they have been, again, at this point in time, 14-1 overall, 3-0 in quadrant play. Again, that one loss coming to a Scottsbluff team in Scottsbluff during the non-conference route. This past weekend had a bit of a scare at the field house with Sheridan to possibly be that first Wyoming team to beat Cheyenne Central, but it's something where I've kind of alluded to throughout this entire course of this season for Cheyenne Central of what team in the state of Wyoming could beat this Central High team that is a year older, year wiser, that is firing on all cylinders, that no longer relies on just Lawson Lovering on the inside. They have pieces from at least starting 5 off of the bench that can burn you, and again, just a speedy team. I ask you the same question, Jake, or at least get your thoughts on it of, is there going to be a team in the regular season that defeats Cheyenne Central, or does Cheyenne Central have the shot to run the table?
Ooh, since you said regular season, we've got South, Laramie, Campbell County, Thunder Basin, and Natrona County. And out of those teams, the only team I can see maybe having a chance is at Thunder Basin. If I have that schedule right, that's about it that I could see. I'm looking at Sheridan. Excuse me. Let me run through that again. We've got the Thunder Basin team. I think that in the regular season, I don't know that East matches up necessarily well against them in the East in that rematch. You got to put East as having a chance. Sheridan matched up well. That's regular season. I'm going to say no. No, Central runs the table, but I'm hesitant to crown them quite yet.
All right, how about we'll extend out postseason then? Could this be the team of destiny that Tag Lane is trying to at least establish with Cheyenne Central of what they've been doing could they cruise through the regionals and cruise on to a state title as well?
Oh, of course they could, and you got to put the chances that more than likely that they will. I just look back to Sheridan last year, man. Here's one difference between this Central team and Sheridan as I saw it. This Central team we've seen coming. The potential has been there, going back to Lawson's freshman year. We knew that if he developed his toughness, and he has, he's developed aggressiveness, and then you have the Storbo twins coming in. You've got a great point guard and a decision-maker in Stampley, and then Nathaniel Talich taking so much of the scoring duties as well. We've seen this team coming, and I remember seeing them as freshmen and then sophomores.
And they're only juniors and sophomores this year.
Exactly. And now we're looking at them and saying, I've seen them coming. Last year, Sheridan became a behemoth at some point during the season, but I can't necessarily say I saw that to the level of that we were wanting to give them. By the end of the year, I had people saying to me, man, this might be the best team of the decade, and then, of course, they lose in the semifinals. So I think that there was maybe a little more hype to that Sheridan team than there is to the Central team, because I think Central is more the real deal. Now, Sheridan and Thunder Basin are both interesting matchups to me, because if Thunder Basin shoots 45% from three, which could happen, then how does that change things? How does that pull the defense out for Central? Conversely, if Sheridan really gets it going inside and those two bigs can also shoot from range as well, then that's interesting. Those are the two teams that I look. And then also, you've got East. East is as athletic. Now, I didn't like their matchup necessarily, so I'm not putting them in there, but you can never count out this East team because they've been number 1, number 2, number 3 all season long for a reason. Central's definitely most likely to run the table, but I hesitate. I don't want it to be a clean run this year either. I want some intrigue, even if Central is your eventual state champ.
And, with Central, they lose the likes of Stampley this year. They'll also lose LeBeaumont, Cates, but I mean, the core of this team's coming back next season. Real quick, hey, Jake, we want to thank you so much for joining us. Your thoughts, 1, 2, and 3. Real quick, those classes, right now, if you had your crystal ball in front of you, who wins in Class 1A, 2A, and 3A?
Oh, boy, I've been thinking about this one. Look, I think 3A girls, I can start there because it's Douglas. They've got the best player in the state, perhaps, on the girls' side. I think they're the best team in the state of Wyoming. Douglas is the real deal. Their only loss came to, at the time, the number 29th ranked team in the nation, and that was by, 5-7 points at the Energy Classic. Douglas all the way in the girls, and there's some good teams and a lot of parity outside of that for the 3A girls. But I think Douglas comes away with it. 2A, I like Wyoming Indian. I've seen them in person. They're very deep. They won state last year, but they returned some contributors last year that have really just become a great ensemble. It's like the Dick Van Dyke show with Wyoming Indian. No one player needs to do it all. They're all kind of working together. And then 1A, Cokeville. Camille Nate came back from a pretty significant foot tendon issue that she'd had going back to last year. They finally made her stop and rest. And I saw that, I've seen the team without Camille Nate this year. They were pretty darn good. And I saw them with her. And then they're going to have some other injuries that will come back for regionals. I think Cokeville on the girls' side is your back-to-back state champs. 3A boys, very interesting. Warland is undefeated right now against the Wyoming team, so you got to consider that into it. But I think Warland, Lander, Mountain View, and heck, you can't count out Wheatland, Big Piney. I can't even count out Lyman, and I haven't even voted them in the top 5 all year, but I've seen a lot of teams that are right within a 4-point range. Warland's your favorite right now. I'm going to say my pick right now is Lander and 3A boys. And then 2A, 1A, I've got to go chalk with this one. Rocky Mountain with 2A. Maybe Wyoming Indian. I think that's your final matchup in one way or the other. And then Encampment in 1A boys.
All right, Jake, hey, we want to thank you. We really enjoyed the chat with you, and hopefully we'll get an opportunity here maybe after state tournament to chat with you once again. We do appreciate it.
Love it. Thank you, guys.
Jake Hibbard, host of the Wyoming Prep Podcast and sports director of KNYN 99.1 FM in Evanston. Join us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. We got to pay some bills. We'll be right back.
Every day we have the opportunity to lead by example. In delivering reliable, affordable, and responsible electricity to power what matters to you, we are taking bold steps to change how your energy is produced. with 50% of your electricity coming from renewable sources by 2024. Because as a cooperative, we are changing together. Whatever the future holds, we'll power it. Tri-State. Cooperative power transformed.
You're looking for fun and style? Then the new 2019 Kia Optima has what you need. And here at Kia of Cheyenne, we can help you own one. I'm AJ Miller, and the 2019 Kia Optima will reward your daily drive with comfort, performance, and advanced engineering. Kia Optima technology, your phone allows access to remote lock or unlock, climate control, 24-hour roadside assistance, and much more. Come in, call 775-0123, or go to KiaofCheyenne.com, and we'll make it easy.
Lennox Auto Body, along with the Auto Glass and Detail Center, has been serving our community for over 25 years with quality service and workmanship. So when you want it done right the first time, call Lennox Auto Body at 634-6608 for an appointment. Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue. And the Auto Glass and Detail Center, remember, it's not clean until it's Lennox clean at 617 East Pershing Boulevard.
Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
Since 1966, family-owned and operated Capital Lumber Company has been the stop for all lumber, paint, tools, accessories, remodel and do-it-yourself projects, and so much more. Now, Capital Lumber Company announces the beginning of a tasty relationship with Traeger Grills, as they now have in stock several models of Traeger Grills, along with pellets and accessories. Capital Lumber Company at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
Did you know B&B Appliance and TV has a local warehouse where they stock a variety of appliances in a wide range of colors and finishes, including black and white? Their friendly staff realizes that one look isn't for everyone, and appliance shopping isn't always convenient. B&B Appliance offers free in-town delivery and disposal of your old appliances. They'll be there for you after the sale, too, because they always service what they sell. B&B Appliance and TV, 714 Central Avenue. Best brands, hometown service.
Do you want the peace of mind of a professionally installed security camera system? Then go with a name you trust, High West Digital Solutions, a High West energy company. The experienced team at High West Digital Solutions will customize a video security system for you, helping you keep an eye on everything going on inside or outside your home or business. Go to hwds.com or call 307-245-4333. High West Digital Solutions, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you. MHP is a certified public accounting and consulting firm located in Bow, Cheyenne, and Fort Collins, offering accounting, tax, and consulting services to businesses, not-for-profit, government, and individual clients. MHP takes pride in their commitment to providing close, personal attention to their clients. They also continue to invest time and resources in continuing education, state-of-the-art computer technology, and valuing their relationships with you. MHP is a proud supporter of local and UW athletics. MHP, 314 West 18th Street, or call 634-2151.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be sunny with highs around 33 and winds of the southwest at 10 to 20 miles per hour. For tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 15 and winds of the west at 15 to 20 miles per hour. On Wednesday, it'll be partly sunny with highs around 30, and on Wednesday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 8.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Well, the day before pitchers and catchers report to Fort Myers, Florida, the home of the Boston Red Sox, the Bo Sox today have named Ron Renicky as their new interim skipper, replacing Alex Cora. No, I just want to say it because, again,
you're bringing up baseball.
Let me finish. Because of the scandal that went on, we've lost Alex Cora.
All right.
We lost A.J. Hinch, and we lost the New York Mets skipper.
Which that would be I can't even think of his name at this point in time because, again, I am not on baseball mode. We still got plenty of basketball to talk about, whether it's professional and collegiate.
We'll get to that, but I'm just saying that the Red Sox have
you
brought him
also
in
too haven't mentioned that Dusty Baker is also too now your new Houston Astros manager. That was announced last week that, again, he's come out of retirement and now is going to take over for that Houston squad where it's pretty much set in, or at least outside of losing Hinch as your manager, Houston didn't really lose a whole lot else. It's a Houston team that's probably going to still be at the top there in the AL West. We'll see what happens with the Angels, again, with Joe Madden and the A's as well. But
I'm just mentioning that the Ron Renneke, who has managerial experience, he's in as an interim skipper right now for the Red Sox. He managed Milwaukee.
Kind of like that player manager
and again,
thing where
Carlos Beltran was the one that was fired out of New York.
Again, didn't even coach a game, so that tells you why I don't remember his name. He was just brought in and then immediately removed after the scandal.
But anyway, so the Red Sox announced that they lease have a skipper in place. They've got to find some people to replace Mookie Betts and David Price. All right, we are going to mention this here, and you might want to get your season tickets well in advance because the Wyoming Cowboys today, and again, I've had this discussion with Kevin McKinney on numerous occasions. The Cowboys have to schedule, they're always looking down the road to get top flight.
They're not the only collegiate team. Every other collegiate team does it as well, too, where, again, you are trying to select from a gigantic pool of teams for, 4 or 5 possible non-conference games to set up home and homes, or at least try to figure out if
you're always looking for that home and home series. In some cases, you have to do a home and 2 away contests.
But also, too, a lot of factors go into it, especially if you are a school of Wyoming stature, a football program where, again, it's still a team that, again, it found its way into a bowl, albeit the Arizona Bowl, one of the dead last bowls. Again, a team that, again, it's still working out. King's still trying to figure out things to kind of be on that Boise State level to represent the Mountain West Conference, to have that kind of winning consistency. But it is something where, for Wyoming's case, you're trying to figure out of what teams are going to offer you money to kind of get your brains beaten out, or at least the potential upsets like CSU has done with, the Alabama scheduling, Arkansas, some of those SEC teams.
And
same with Missouri, that at least matchup. But, again, that kind of plays in a factor also to, scheduling some of those competitive big, at least name teams to kind of help out potential if you are having that winning season going towards that bowl opportunity, that bigger, better bowl, if not have a case for a BCS bowl, whatever it may be. But, there are multitude factors. It is a lot where, yes, you have to plan years in advance, as we just saw, at least with a recent announcement that came out today. How about 8 years in advance to schedule some of these non-conference games?
And the ironic part of this schedule, or the team that they announced today, they've only played once, and I happened to see them back in 1990. Matter of fact, this was Paul Roach's last game as head coach of the Cowboys. This was at the Copper Bowl, which was in Tucson, as they lost to the Cal Bears 17-15. So California, the University of California, Berkeley, is
that's a better game than what you saw of Wyoming versus Georgia State. Let's be honest. But
well,
tells you the difference between the Copper Bowl and the Arizona Bowl.
Yeah, and there was a little more money back in the day, too, playing in the Copper Bowl.
There was also, less bowl opportunities for teams.
So, with that, it will be a home and home with the Cal Bears. This is scheduled for the year 2028. Will we be here to talk about it? Don't know.
Yeah, who knows? But either way, in 2028, though, you're going to have to go out to San Francisco, Berkeley. At least go out to Oakland, wherever, the Bay Area, where Berkeley's just northwest of there, but or at least northeast, excuse me. But, again, they are not coming to Laramie until 2029. So 2028, they'll be heading out to Berkeley for that first matchup.
Right.
Then 2029, Cal Bears will come out to Laramie to take on the Cowboys.
And while we're at it, and just taking a look at some upcoming.
Well, we had the Cal Bear announcement again for 2028, 2029. Also, to the recent announcement that came earlier during the football season, Texas Longhorns will be returning back. At least that will be a home and home series. I do believe that at least sometime in the mid 2020s.
2023, we go to Texas. I do believe that is right. Yeah, 2023.
Yeah.
As we'll be at Texas. So I don't see a home and home on that one. I just see
unless that is to be determined. But again, it was announced that Texas was going to be at least a non-conference opponent for the Wyoming Cowboys
in 2023. So here's what's happening this season. Our non-conference opponents will be we'll have Weber State on September 5th.
Oh boy.
We go to Louisiana on the 12th.
Whoop-de-doo.
We will have Utah out of the Pac-12
That's
on the
gonna be
19th.
a tough one.
And then we're at Ball State on the 26th. That's
Yawn.
this year.
Tells you how light of a schedule that is.
Next year will be 2021. We'll be at we'll have Montana State at home.
Ooh.
We'll be at Northern Illinois.
Ooh.
We'll do the home and home with Ball State. We'll be at home with Ball State. And we go to Clemson, take on the Tigers.
So at least
September 25th.
There's your brains beat out game of here. They pay us a couple mil and have fun with that one. But other than that, though, again, you have your two big opponents, that being Utah and Clemson, to look forward to here in 2020 and 2021. But
and if you're wondering when we get BYU back, it will be in the 2022 season, and we'll go to Provo on September 24th in the year 2022. We get Tulsa, Northern Colorado, and at Illinois.
That is, again, non-conference BYU, where rumors have circulated where they were interested in joining at least the Mountain West Conference of both football and basketball. We'll see by that time if BYU is back in the conference. But again, that is a non-conference opponent, or at least home and home with the BYU Cougars as of right now. So again, many things could change. Will Boise State still be a part of the Mountain West by that time? We'll even CSU that has the grand dreams of moving on to a Power 5 conference.
And when will the Power 5 conference come into play?
Yeah.
But it's interesting with Utah. We'll get them at home here in 2020 this year, and we don't see Utah again until 2025 when we go out to Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But that non-conference, though, again, you look at 2020, 2021. Again, you got your big name there, big names kind of sprinkled in there. But other than that, though, it's kind of on par of what it's been recent of. All right, you beat a Ball State. Congrats. You're supposed to. Northern Illinois. Congrats. CSU did kind of beat their brains out last season. What we saw.
You should beat Montana State.
Yeah, you should take care of a Big Sky school. Same with Weber State as well, too.
Yeah, don't think so.
Yeah, you're
not
going
to do the Tigers. And again, this year, you got Weber State, Louisiana, Ball State, and Utah.
Louisiana, that plays, I do believe, still in the Sun Belt.
So, but you get Utah. And you're at Louisiana and at Ball State, too. So, I mean, it's like I wouldn't sell anything short when you go on the road.
If Cowboys lose on the road to those two teams, then we got issues.
So I'm trying to look here. Let's see. 2024, we're at Arizona State. We got New Mexico State, and then we get BYU at home.
New Mexico State, that's another grand opponent.
2023 is Texas Tech and at Texas. And then we'll have Portland State, Appalachian State. So, you can't have everybody just kick butt and take name teams that you're going to play. You could if
you're established like a Boise State, where again they're seeing the Florida States of the world. Again, they could take on a Texas, they can take on whoever they want, because again it is that, hey, it's a premier matchup. All right, we feel confident we could beat
Boise
your team.
State,
but
and Boise State is bowl bound every year, right?
Oh yeah.
Wyoming's not bowl bound every year, and matter of fact, under this current leadership, they're not even 500.
No, Craig Bowl still, even after this season, still sub 500. Again, in Mountain West Conference play, yes, did pick up the bowl victory. That would give them at least
It was the second lowest paid bowl.
Yeah.
Who cares? I mean, that's what everybody's you know what?
The rumor mill as well, too, where it's kind of interesting, and this is not going to happen without a doubt, but the rumor, especially with the recent controversy out in East Lansing right now with Michigan State, rumor has circulated that Craig Bohl's name has been at least tossed out there for him to possibly be for the job, or at least pick up that head coaching position.
They're interested in him.
Is it going to happen? I don't think so. Nice. I really don't believe so. I think, again, for Michigan State, Craig Bohl's not going to get it done in the Big Ten. And again, that's nothing against Craig Bohl and what he does. Again, he's proven in FCS that yes, he could win with North Dakota State. Here in Mountain West and at least in the FBS, the jury's still out. Where again,
he hasn't done what he's supposed to do.
He's been on. He's on.
He hasn't won a Mountain West Conference championship.
And again, he's on par right now, record-wise and standing-wise, with his predecessors. That being Christensen, same with also Joe Glenn, where they were 500 coaches that got a couple bowl appearances. Again, Joe Glenn, I think, has probably the most, at least probably prestigious win out of the previous,
the Las Vegas Bowl.
Yeah, again, against UCLA. I think that has been probably in recent Cowboy history of postseason bowls.
Right.
That's probably been your most prestigious win.
I mean, again, I don't sit there and poo-poo the New Mexico Bowl. I'm going to poo-poo the Nova Home Loans Bowl. Now,
I would, and also too, same with the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. Again, Central Michigan, okay.
But we here in Wyoming, think about it. It's December in Wyoming. You're going to Tucson, Arizona. We're talking, in some cases, about an 80-degree difference.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm on that. I'll go to Tucson.
Well, again,
all
majority
they
of
cared
bowls
about was getting out of town.
Majority of bowls are in that south, or at least in the warmer climates, except for the Pinstripe Bowl, except for the Idaho Potato Bowl. Again, other than that, though, you're going to be playing down somewhere warm.
Again, a bowl that paid, what, $350,000?
Just barely more than the Bahamas Bowl that featured.
And think about this, too, Nick. You split $175,000 with the league, okay? Do you think that the Cowboys and again, they sold their allotment of tickets.
Yeah.
Good job by the Cowboy fans.
If they made a profit, it was minimal.
Do you think they made any money? I'm going to tell you, no, they did not.
If they did, it was minimal.
Yeah.
It was nothing that, is really painstakingly egregious to the University of Wyoming and the athletic department by going to that bowl. Again, it's something nice for those athletes, without a doubt, to, again, get away from Laramie, Wyoming, to at least have that postseason opportunity, without a doubt. Again, kudos on that, at least chance. That is kind of the reason why the NCAA has established that we have, 40, 50 bowls at this point in time, where everyone under the sun is now getting a postseason appearance.
Like I said, of those 40 bowls, as you mentioned, we went to the 39th ranked bowl.
Yeah.
As far as the payout is concerned. Who cares? Again, fans here cared that they got to go to Tucson, Arizona. Who cares? Otherwise, the bowl game sucked.
Again, fans out here in the state of Wyoming that follow the Cowboys were, again, you go, this is a program not like Boise State. That's not like some of the prestigious schools, whether it's in this conference or at least throughout the entire U.S. that, again, they expect a bowl year in and year out. They don't expect anything less. For Boise right now, their goal, at least as a fan base, is to entertain that potential play, at least, college football playoff entry. That's what that team is kind of focused on right now, along with, again, winning Mountain West Conference titles, going on to big-time bowls. But here in the state of Wyoming, where, again, it's a program trying to chug along to get in that consistency, you're happy for Idaho Potato Bowl. You're happy for any postseason bowl because it doesn't come every single year. It's slow chug right now, but again, a team that so far in back-to-back seasons has finished around 500, has not really done much in the Mountain West Conference. Really hasn't established at least those big-time wins. Again, the Mizzou game at the beginning of the year, that was impressive at that time of where we thought the Tigers were going to be at year's end. As the season went on, Mizzou kind of fell down.
They weren't in average.
Yeah, they were pretty bad. So it kind of made that win at the beginning kind of a so-so of, okay, yeah, you beat Mizzou at home. Congrats. It was nothing that all impressive by year's end.
And then you struggled against the likes of Idaho. So there you go.
I told you they would.
I know, but a team that you should have just
the Vandals had a shot.
So
the Vandals that are just pathetic of football.
There's a lot of problems that were associated with the Cowboys this year, still on the offensive side. Have they addressed those offensive problems? No, in my opinion.
Not yet, and we'll see. Again, you have right now, Levi Williams anticipated to be that starting quarterback.
Talking about decision makers.
Well, okay. Again, I'll even talk with personnel on the field, though. You still have issues of, replacements of some big names, especially defense and offense, where, on the National Signing Day, there were some potentials. But again, they're coming in as high school freshmen. Will they be pushed out there immediately for the Cowboys to be playmakers? Not necessarily. We'll see what happens. But, this is a season for the Wyoming Cowboys of, in my opinion, of with this team of where we have at least I set high expectations for the Cowboys. Where why not us? Why is Boise the consistent team? Why can't Wyoming be that consistent team? It's getting there.
Because you got to attract people to come to Laramie, Wyoming,
which is typical.
You heard it yesterday when we were talking with Kevin. It's the same thing. It's always we have maybe not the record to attract people here. We may not have the great records, but we have the facilities.
Yeah,
and that's one of the attractions of getting people to Wyoming.
Even though War Memorial is getting up there in age, but again, it's been renovated enough.
You know, same with basketball. Beautiful Dome of Doom.
Yeah, that renovation there at the AA is fantastic.
But it's you're selling a 6-win season coming off an 8-win season last year. What you do sell to a potential athlete, I'm talking to Nick Perwetta, him in your home, you got a great shot of starting today.
Yeah, and there's a multitude of factors.
But you're not going to come there to sit the bench.
No, not to the University of Wyoming. Again, if you are a 3-star, 4-star athlete or anything like that, you are not going to Laramie, Wyoming to sit on a bench for 4 seasons, or at least for your freshman season. You want to be a contributor automatically. And again, you're going to find that place that's going to give that to you. That's also true probably at least a little far advanced, or at least has a little bit more winning nature than what the Wyoming Cowboys have of a recent. But it is what it is, especially where you're fighting against the Mountain West Conference itself, where, again, CSU, they've had their struggles. They got a new head coach, brand new facilities. You're also in a kind of mini metro city that is Fort Collins, just up the road from Denver, Colorado. Denver. Again, you have plenty of opportunities. That's just one stake. Boise's going to be your number one, at least, target in the Mountain West for potential, at least, recruits, and then on and so forth of where else anyone else wants to go throughout this entire conference. So it's something that, in my opinion, for 2020, as we're not even I think 3 weeks away from spring
drills.
Yeah, like spring camp right now over there in Laramie. This is another season for Coach Craig Bull and his Cowboys, or at least that staff, of if you finish 500 again, if you finish below 500 in Mountain West Conference plays you've done in the past couple seasons, something's got to change.
Well,
because again, this is all we're seeing right now. Yes, you're getting the postseason bowl victories and the postseason opportunities, but again, it's handed. It is that kind of nature of where we're at, where it's that participation medal. But again, so far of the regular season, you've proved nothing. You've proved so far that you're just a mediocre team.
Well,
you're middle of the road.
And what stood above the rest last year was their defense. The offense was still so-so. We didn't.
Yeah.
Valladay got a lot of yards rushing. Chambers did too before he got injured. But our passing game, again, if you're a wide receiver, do you really want to come to Wyoming?
No.
We don't get you the football.
Surprised they even picked up a wide receiver for National Signing Day.
Yeah. So, it's like, this year we're going to get you the football. And Levi Williams coming in, he was no great shakes either throwing the football, was he?
Well, again, that was his first start, or at least first start out there for Wyoming.
I don't care. You're still throwing the football in practice, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right. So again, it's still problems.
Your main thrower, or at least the guy who had the arm and the potential and the talent that we talked about, that was sitting on the bench, now plays for the Bengals up in Idaho, at least Idaho State.
Yeah, he
up
said,
in Pocatello.
"See you, bye."
Yeah.
So, all right, here's what we got going on here. We got to get out of here. It's been a good program today. Again, thank you to Dr. Cindy Henning from Laramie County Community College, also to Jake Hibbard most recently this hour joined us, and then we had Pat Graham, Denver AP sports writer. So, again, we were pretty busy.